Hey guys, we're back with a brand new Buy It or Leave It video. You're watching the Gamecast, my name is Denzel, and today we're talking about Age of Mythology. Age of Mythology is a really old game, guys. This game is from October 2002, so that makes it almost 22 years old, which is crazy. It's from the same developers as Age of Empires, that makes it Microsoft Studios. They've been doing this for a very long time, and this game is just great. The base of the game is exactly the same as Age of Empires, only now it's based on mythologies. Nordic mythologies, Greek mythologies, etc., etc. So the game is really old, guys, and the graphics definitely catch up with the game, but it doesn't matter with a game like this. If you're familiar with maybe Age of Empires or the older Command & Conquer games, this is exactly the same. So it's about the base of the game, the gameplay, and it's a strategy game, so that's what makes it fun, not the graphics. So the game is basically still the same as Age of Empires. You gotta collect your resources, you got your food, wood, and gold. You don't got stone with this one, but you got something else. You still gotta create your villagers, and you gotta let them gather all these resources. So I said there's one thing different, and if you look at the bottom left, you see the tab where the resources are. You got the food, the wood, and the gold, and then you got your villagers, and below that you got a lightning rod. So the lightning rod here is for Zeus, because I chose Zeus as a god. And the difference is with the normal Age of Empires here, with the normal Age of Empires you also got stone to collect, and here you have prayers to do. So the gods have to be devoted, so you can do certain upgrades, and you can create certain heroes like Achilles and fucking giants and whatever. So that makes it pretty cool, but you gotta create villagers and let them do their prayers, which is also sort of resource gathering. So it's been a long time since I played Age of Empires 1, but I know in Age of Empires 2 and everything after that, they got a lot more buildings to build and things to do and upgrade. So this game is a little bit limited. It feels a little bit limited, but of course it's almost a 22 years old game. But I gotta play Age of Empires 1 to see if it's a lot different than Age of Empires 1, because Age of Empires 1 is even from 1997, so that's even 5 years older than this game. So you do get to do a lot of upgrades, which you normally can't do with Age of Empires. You still have to age up like the normal Age of Empires. So you have 4 ages to go. 4 or 5? No, I'm not sure. I think it's 4. 4 ages to go, and as soon as you hit the 4th age, you can create a wonder. Like that's a temple, and as soon as the temple stands there for 5,000 years, well, in-game 5,000 years, of course, then you won the game. You also get to create a portal to like hell. To the underworld, which will summon a fucking large demon that will protect your land. The only bad thing was I summoned the demon, but I couldn't get it on a boat or whatever, so it was on my island, but nobody was attacking me, so it still was worthless. I paid a lot of resources to it, 1,000 of each resource, and I couldn't use it because nobody was attacking me. We were on islands, and the fucking demon couldn't get on any boat, so that was a bit of a shame, but it's still very cool. It's a huge guy, huge monster walking over your island, and it destroys literally everything. So I got to use it a couple of times when I had a map with mainland. Then you can send it to the enemy, and it can destroy whole villages. They barely get damage done to it, so that makes it pretty cool. So there is a limit for the amount of units you can create, and units are like soldiers or villagers, all of them combined together. And it works differently than normal. So you have to create houses, of course. That's with Age of Empires as well. And if you reach a certain limit of houses, then you can't create any more, but you can't create any more villagers. So here it is. You got certain plots where you can build townhouses. So you can't just randomly build multiple townhouses. There are certified spots where you have to buy them, like Indian camps, kinda. That's what they look like. At least that's how I saw them. And you can build your townhouse over there. So you can claim them early in the game, or you just have to destroy someone else's and build your own townhouse there. And that ups your limit just by a little bit. So the max I reached was 185, I guess, 185 units. And that's not a lot, because I was very aggressive with creating villagers to gain as much resources as possible. And I had so many villagers walking around that I couldn't create an army, or I could barely create an army. And then you have like the Cyclopses and giants and stuff that can defend your town. But if you create a giant, it costs like 3 or 4 villagers. So it takes a spot for 3 people, which makes my army very small, because at one point I had like 10 units for the giants and the Cyclopses and stuff, and everything was taken. So that was my whole army. So it's a really great game, especially for a game this age, because the game is 22 years old, guys, and that's fucking old, man. But I gotta tell you, the game is still very expensive. So I paid $20 for this game, and it wasn't even everything. So I was eventually started to play this, and I created a custom game, and I wanted to you can choose the map, of course. Now, I could create a lot of teams, so I was like with 10 people playing the game, and I wanted to pick the large map, but it was not optional. And then I was sent to the store, the Steam store, because I bought it at Steam, and it said, well, yeah, you have to buy this DLC, and the DLC was like 10 or 15 bucks on top of the game, so I would have paid 35 bucks if I would have bought it. I didn't, but if I would have paid 35 bucks just for a very old game with not a lot of features. So I don't know if the DLC was added later, or because I can't remember back in the day they already used DLCs. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. But it was a lot of money for just a couple of extra maps, and you did get a Chinese mythology where you get the snake dragons and stuff. Sorry if I said it wrong. I don't want to insult anyone. But it looked pretty cool. But 15 bucks for that small of an extra wasn't really worth it for me. But a very cool feature if you've watched one of my previous Age of Empires video. In every video I am complaining about the teams you can create. Like Age of Empires 4 or 3, you can create multiple teams, but you can only create like Team 1 into Team 2. Well, I said it wrong. You can create multiple opponents, so you can add like 8 opponents, but you can only create 2 teams. And what the bad thing about it is, if you want to play with 8 people, it's always 4 against 4, or 1 against 7, or 2 against 5, or 6. Which fucks it up, because that's not a lot of fun, you know? You want to have multiple people fighting against each other, so that not everyone is pointed at you. And in this game, they did it right. So it is also with the old Age of Empires. I can add 10 people, and all people can be their own team. So it's like a free-for-all. So you got 10 empires fighting against each other. But you can also create teams of 2, so that's what I did. So we had 5 teams of 2 fighting against each other, and every person had their own island. So you had 10 islands with all water in between. But it was very cool, because this is a lot better, because it takes so much of the strain of your game, because you have a little bit more time to gather resources and stuff. Well, sometimes you're unlucky and they attack you from the beginning, but since there are so many other players, they also get attacked and they're fighting with each other, and you don't always have to get involved. So that's very nice about this game. I love it that way. So for me, this game is definitely a buy it. It's kind of expensive, but I made a video about a website, G2A. Maybe most people know, maybe some people don't know. And there you can buy this game a little cheaper. So sometimes you can buy it with a Steam account. So then you get the game and you get the login details from a Steam account. It's kind of weird, but that's how it works. I don't know if it's fully legal, but I guess so, because it's a pretty big and known site. And you can buy it there for 10 bucks if you want to. But then you get a different Steam account. It's still cheaper than on Steam directly if you buy just the game code, but you pay like 18 bucks or something, so it's a couple of bucks less. But if you don't mind switching to a different account, you can get it for like 10 bucks, which is what I saw. And it's definitely worth it, because it's a really nice game. And if when you're a fan of Age of Empires, you'll like this. And if you're also into mythology, especially with the gods and stuff, and it's something I really do like, I also watch a lot of films and series about it, then you definitely will enjoy this game. And it's a little bit older, and I thought I made a video about this because it's really because of Microsoft Studio announced that they're developing a new Age of Mythology Retold, which is coming out this year. So I thought I'm gonna play this game now, and then I'll see the difference. So I already made a video about this one, and I can't wait till the new one drops. I'm definitely gonna buy it. So that's the newest in the series. So after 22 years, they're finally dropping a new Age of Mythology, which is going to be epic. You got to check the trailer. Well, I hope I helped you guys with this video. It's definitely worth playing if you're used to Age of Empires or whatever. It's also great for you when you're new, but maybe start with a normal Age of Empires, because they're a little bit cheaper for the first edition. And if you enjoy it, then you can also switch to this one. Well, guys, I hope I helped you guys. Hope to see you next time. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, drop a subscribe if you haven't done it yet. And thanks a lot. I appreciate all the support I get on my videos. Thank you. Bye.